It's the Friday Night Frenzy on News 18. Sports from where you live.
We are back for another week of Friday Night Frenzy, so welcome back and thank you for joining us. It's the playoffs and it's going to be spooky for some teams as they end their seasons tonight. It's time to win or go home, so let's see who's moving on to the sectional championships, starting off with the McCutcheon Mavericks, who had to travel extra far tonight for their first game of the playoffs, about like an hour and 15 minutes far. But don't worry, because we totally traveled with them, and we will definitely see this game in just a second. Yep, there it goes. Yes, the McCutcheon Mavericks. Can't believe we traveled that far with them, but we gotta see our teams play through the end of season. Mavs taking on Decatur Central. And in the first quarter, Hawks on the attack, but the QB threw it to Michael Henney, who shows us that he's got some wheels as he gets in prime field position for his team. Mavs wouldn't be able to score after that play, and it looks like the Hawks are back flying on offense again, and this time they'll stay on the ground with a handoff to Casey Berry, who gets to be the edge and finds the end zone. Decatur Central leads, but McCutcheon is showing some fight, and QB Owen Smith throws a dime to Broderick Arnold, who kicks it into high gear and gets going all the way into the end zone for a much-needed tutty. McCutcheon inching back closer, but it wouldn't be enough, and Decatur Central would put more points and widen the gap the Mavs couldn't come back from. Final score, Hawks win 31-13. All right, we're going to move a little bit closer to home now, about 15 minutes away, because the Lafayette Jeff Broncos were heading into their first playoff game, and they were playing host to Lake Central. Not gonna lie, things didn't start off too well. After a failed play, Lake Central recovered this ball quickly, and just as quick as that last play, it looks like this play will be just as fast. Lake Central running back, kicking it into another gear to get to the first score of the night. Broncos down early, but now it's time for this team to redeem themselves, and it looks like it'll be the exact play we just saw before. Another Bronco fumble leads to an Indian recovery. And now this team is back on offense, a place you don't want them to be, because they'll make quick work and put up another 6 with their star of a running back. But all hope is not lost yet. In fact, the defense is just getting warmed up. Broncos are fine, and they'll show that with this run coming from Zaya Powers. Broncos fighting back hard, and their fight would pay off. Jeff would narrowly escape this game, go into overtime just to survive in advance. Final score, Broncos win 34-28, and they now head to the championship next week. Staying close to home, we got the Harrison Raiders in action once again. After coming off a bye themselves, Raiders were playing host to the Plainfield Quakers, and yes, everyone was bundled up and excited for this game. What an exciting game it was. It was 7-7 when I showed up in the first quarter with only minutes to go. But the Quakers would make a drive into the end zone right here and end up coming out with a tutty. Harrison trails 14-7 heading into the second. Raiders starting things off hot with a big throw from Ben Henderson to Carter Canoy, who rushes into the end zone to tie things up for his team. Raiders looking scary on this Halloween weekend, but this Plainfield team is not letting Harrison get the best of them. Raiders back on 0, and this time Henderson's in trouble. He throws up a long run with seconds on the clock, and this time the ball is intercepted by a Quaker. Harrison would be in a back-and-forth battle all night long, and the Raiders would just fall short of getting the W. Final score, Harrison loses 35-28, and they end the season 8-2 overall. And that does it for our first round of highlights, and boy, were those some close games. But don't go anywhere, because we have 3 more games on our lineup for you next, and you need to stick around for these. Coming up, you'll hear if Central Catholic was able to get past Lewis Cass, how Benton Central did against Rochester, and if Carroll was able to take down Tri-Central. All that's coming up after the break.